Have you ever felt weighed down by emotions you can't quite explain, like anger that flares up out of nowhere, sadness that lingers, or shame that keeps you awake at night? I remember a time when I was carrying this heavy sense of guilt after a falling out with a close friend. I'd replayed our argument over and over, blaming myself for things I couldn't change. It felt like I was stuck, like that guilt was holding me hostage. No matter how hard I tried to move on, it wouldn't let go. Have you ever felt like that, like you're trapped in emotions you don't know how to heal? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, had a name for where those emotions hide: the shadow. The shadow is the hidden part of your psyche, the place where you tuck away feelings, fears, and memories you'd rather not face. But here's the thing: those emotions don't disappear. They shape your life in ways you might not even see. Jung said, "Healing begins when we confront our shadow." In this video, we're going to explore how your shadow holds your unhealed emotions and how facing it can set you free. You'll learn practical steps to start healing today, so you can feel lighter, stronger, and more at peace. So let me ask you, what emotions are you carrying that feel heavy? What's holding you back from healing? Stick with me, and let's start this journey together. What is the shadow? Carl Jung's insight. To understand how to heal your emotions, we first need to understand what Jung meant by the shadow. Picture your mind as a house. The rooms you show to the world are bright and welcoming: your kindness, your confidence, your achievements. But there's a basement, locked away, where you store everything you don't want to face: your anger, your shame, your fears, even parts of yourself you think are unacceptable. That basement is your shadow. Jung believed the shadow is part of your unconscious, the hidden side of your psyche that holds everything you've suppressed: emotions, memories, even talents or desires you've buried because they feel too risky or shameful. But the shadow isn't just a storage room for negative feelings. It also holds your untapped potential, your creativity, your courage, the parts of you that could shine if you let them out. Jung said, "The shadow is the doorway to your true self." Facing it is the first step toward individuation, the process of becoming your whole, authentic self. Your shadow forms over time, often starting in childhood. Maybe you were told to toughen up when you felt sad, so you learned to hide your sadness. Or maybe you were praised for being nice, so you buried your anger. Those suppressed emotions don't vanish. They live in your shadow, influencing how you feel, act, and connect with others. For example, I used to push down my anger, thinking it made me a bad person. But that anger would leak out in small ways, like snapping at someone I loved or feeling resentful for no reason. My shadow was trying to get my attention. The good news? You can work with your shadow to heal those emotions. By bringing them into the light, you take away their power to control you. So, how does the shadow hold your emotions, and what happens when you ignore it? Let's explore that next. How the shadow holds your emotions. Your shadow isn't just a concept. It's active in your life every day, holding on to emotions you've pushed away. These might be feelings like anger, sadness, guilt, or shame that you've suppressed because they feel too painful or wrong. But ignoring them doesn't make them go away. Instead, they show up in ways that can keep you stuck. One way the shadow holds your emotions is through triggers. Have you ever overreacted to something small, like a friend's comment or a minor setback? That's your shadow at work. For example, I once got furious when a coworker took credit for my idea. At first, I thought it was just about the situation, but when I dug deeper, I realized it was tied to old feelings of being overlooked as a kid. My shadow was holding on to that unhealed hurt, and it came out as anger. Another way is through patterns. Maybe you keep bottling up sadness, only to feel overwhelmed by it later. Or you avoid guilt by staying busy, but it creeps up when you're alone. I had a friend who felt ashamed of a mistake she made years ago. She pushed it down, but it showed up as self-doubt, making her second-guess every decision. Her shadow was holding that shame, waiting for her to face it. Your shadow can also manifest physically. Suppressed emotions might show up as tension in your body, like a tight jaw or a racing heart. I noticed this when I was stressed but didn't want to admit it. My shoulders would ache, a sign my shadow was carrying that stress for me. Ignoring your shadow keeps these emotions trapped, leading to inner conflict, strained relationships, or a sense of disconnection. But facing your shadow? That's where healing begins. It's about acknowledging those feelings, understanding where they come from, and letting them go. So let me ask you, what emotions are you avoiding? What's hiding in your shadow? Let's look at how to start healing those emotions. For steps to heal your emotions through your shadow. Healing your emotions by working with your shadow isn't about fixing yourself. It's about embracing every part of you, even the parts you've hidden. It's a gentle, powerful process that can lead to profound change. Here are 4 practical steps to start healing your emotions through your shadow. Step 1. Identify your triggers. Your shadow reveals itself in moments when you feel a strong emotional reaction, like anger, sadness, or shame. These are clues to what's hiding in your unconscious. The next time you feel triggered, pause and notice it. For example, if you feel hurt when someone ignores you, ask, "Why does this bother me so much? What's underneath this feeling?" I started doing this when I got upset over small slights, and I realized my shadow was holding on to old feelings of rejection. Try keeping a journal. Write down what triggered you, how it felt, and what it reminds you of. This helps you see your shadow clearly. Step 2. Acknowledge without judgment. Once you've identified an emotion in your shadow, the next step is to accept it without judging yourself. This is hard because we're taught to see certain emotions, like anger or envy, as bad. But Jung believed every emotion has a purpose. Try saying to yourself, "It's okay that I feel this way. It's part of being human." For instance, I used to feel ashamed of my jealousy, but when I started saying, "It's okay to feel jealous," it lost its power over me. You can practice this through a simple meditation. Sit quietly for 5 minutes, focus on the emotion, and let it be without trying to change it. This builds compassion for yourself. Step 3. Engage in inner dialogue. Your shadow has a voice, and it wants to be heard. Try having an inner dialogue with your emotions, like you're talking to a friend. Write a letter to your anger, sadness, or shame, asking, "What are you trying to tell me? Where did you come from?" I did this with my guilt over that friend argument. I wrote, "Dear guilt, why are you here?" and realized it was tied to my fear of hurting others. This dialogue helped me understand and release it. You don't have to write, you can speak it out loud or think it quietly. The goal is to listen to your shadow's story. Step 4. Take healing action. Healing your shadow means bringing those emotions into your life in a healthy way. If you're holding on to anger, try expressing it constructively, like through exercise or journaling about what's making you mad. If it's sadness, give yourself permission to cry or talk to a trusted friend. For me, healing my suppressed stress meant taking up yoga to release that physical tension. Ask, "What's one small action I can take to honor this emotion?" It could be writing a letter of forgiveness to yourself, creating art to express sadness, or setting a boundary to release resentment. Small actions lead to big healing. These 4 steps, identifying triggers, acknowledging without judgment, engaging in inner dialogue, and taking healing action, are the path to emotional healing through your shadow. They move you closer to individuation, where you live as your whole, authentic self. So, what's one emotion you're ready to face? Why healing your shadow matters? Why does this matter? Because healing your shadow frees you from the weight of unprocessed emotions. When you ignore your shadow, those feelings, anger, shame, sadness, control you. They show up as outbursts, self-doubt, or strained relationships. I saw this in my own life when I kept suppressing my frustration, only for it to explode in moments I regretted. But when you face your shadow, you take back control. You feel lighter, more at peace, and more connected to yourself. Healing your shadow also transforms your relationships. When you stop projecting your unhealed emotions onto others, you communicate more honestly and connect more deeply. For example, a friend of mine struggled with guilt over past mistakes. It made her withdraw from people she loved. When she faced her shadow through journaling, she was able to forgive herself and rebuild those connections. Her relationships became stronger because she was showing up as her true self. This work is also about personal growth. Jung believed that facing your shadow is essential for individuation, becoming your whole self. It's not just about healing pain, it's about discovering your strength, creativity, and potential. When I started facing my shadow, I found a confidence I didn't know I had. I stopped hiding my true feelings and started living more authentically. Let me ask you, what would your life look like if you let go of those heavy emotions? How would it feel to live with more peace, confidence, and connection? Healing your shadow isn't about erasing your past, it's about embracing it to create a brighter future. We've explored a lot today, from Carl Jung's concept of the shadow to practical steps for healing your emotions. Your shadow isn't something to fear. It's a part of you that holds the key to your healing and growth. As Jung said, healing begins when we confront our shadow. By facing those hidden emotions, you can release their hold on you and step into a life that feels lighter and more authentic. Here's my challenge to you. Take one small step today to heal an emotion in your shadow. Grab a journal and write a letter to an emotion you've been avoiding, maybe anger, sadness, or shame. Ask it, what are you trying to teach me? What I need to let go of? Or try one small action, like meditating for 5 minutes or talking to a friend about how you feel. That small step could be the start of profound healing. If this video touched you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share an emotion you're ready to face or a step you're taking to heal. Your story might inspire someone else to start their journey. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more people seeking healing. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can join us for more Carl Jung-inspired wisdom. Let's keep this journey going. What's one emotion you're ready to heal? I believe in you, and I'm excited to see where this path takes you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.